So as many in and outside of Korea keep a close eye on the unpredictable outcome of the 2016 presidential election in the U.S., Korea's leading security and political experts gathered in Seoul's parliament to discuss how Korea can best prepare for whatever the outcome may be come November. Our Park Ji-won was there.
With presidential campaigning intensifying in the U.S., interest in South Korea grows on who the next president will be, in particular, what policy he or she will take regarding Northeast Asia and North Korea. Against such backdrop, the Parliament's National Defense Committee chair invited some of the nation's leading political and security experts for a special seminar.
We need to closely look into what policies the U.S. presidential candidates have on the Korean peninsula, as those policies will greatly affect Seoul-Washington relations. That's why I've organized this seminar.
Security and diplomacy experts at the seminar agreed that the South Korea-U.S. alliance and the presence of U.S. troops in South Korea are vital for national security.
We need to constantly communicate with those who will be in charge in the next administration of U.S. policies regarding the Korean peninsula. So a task force team has been set up at the Foreign Ministry, with meetings taking place every week.
Experts added that the next U.S. policymakers need to be informed that the North Korean nuclear issue is a global threat and not only confined to the Korean peninsula.
If a nuclear war is triggered on the Korean peninsula, there's no guarantee that it won't turn into a world war free. So we need to constantly communicate with the US on how to protect free democracy from irrational actors like North Korea.
Experts also suggested that strengthening networks among politicians in both countries is one way to prepare for the possible changes made by the next U.S. head of state.
Diplomatic efforts on a parliamentary level could be important, as the Congress is where the U.S. public's opinion is reflected and real policy change directions occur.
Along with the government and the parliament, South Korea's leading think tanks are keeping a close eye on the major U.S. parties' platforms and the possible changes in foreign policy directions until the big day when the 45th U.S. president is elected arrives on November 8th. Park Ji-won, Arirang News.